Hi, Joe and Josh from PH Tennis, and today we're going to be testing the Yonex VCORE Pro. Pro because it's a real pro's racket. Endorsed by, but possibly used by, Stan Wawrinka and Diana Yastrenka. So the VCORE Pro sits in the Yonex range, sort of on that precision, accuracy sort of vibe.
Yeah, it's a proper player's racket, right?
Yeah, like a Pro Staff, like a Prestige, sits up there. The narrower beam throughout means greater precision, but arguably more difficult to use, more difficult to generate power and generate spin.
Compared to, say, an E-Zone or a VCORE rather than it.
Exactly. The paint on this one, kind of Wimbledon-y, right? We've got the green, we've got the purple, everybody loves Wimby, and that's what they've gone for. It's okay.
It's okay.
It is, isn't it? We've strung some up with some Yonex Polytour Pro, and we're going to get on court and see how it plays. So the Yonex VCORE Pro, we've just finished playing with both the 97 and the 100, and I'm a big Yonex fan, and they're both excellent.
Think Prestige, think Pro Staff. That is the style of racket that this is, and I have to say it's a really, really nice one. I think all the Yonex range is very good, and this VCORE Pro equally so. Really, really nice racket. I was very surprised. Traditionally hard to use because of the thinner beam. So thinner beams do make rackets harder to use. Not hard necessarily, not difficult necessarily, but a thicker beam is always going to be easier to use. The thin beam gives it lots of flex, and you can really feel that with this racket. Like, you get that feeling of the racket wrapping itself around the ball at contact. It's really good on sort of low, flicky pickups. Serving took a while to get used to, but once you got it, you get so much bounce off the ground. It almost feels like the racket is whipping over on its own, almost. What kind of makes this unique, lined up alongside the Prestige and the Pro Staff, is the NANS technology in it, which gives you a real nice bit of kind of racket kick on contact. So a racket that isn't a power frame by any means, when you really start cranking it up, the racket gives you a little bit of help and gives you a little bit of extra force through your shot. So if you play with quite a long traditional swing, this is really going to help you generate some pace whilst maintaining that kind of traditional precision feel that a narrow beamed racket gives you.
Much similar to the way the Pro Staff 97 and the Pro Staff X kind of work together. The 100 is going to give you a bit more power, a bit more spin because of that larger head size, whereas the 97 is giving you that ultimate precision. That's going up against the Prestige, the Pro Staff, as I said, in that range of those sort of high performing, precision, accurate rackets.
It's just, yeah, felt really, really good. I haven't used the 97 yet. This is the VCORE Pro 100. The larger head size is going to obviously make things, again, a little bit easier. So it kind of feels very similar to the new Pro Staff X. Feels very similar to a Head Speed or a Wilson Blade. Essentially those thin beamed, like easy to maneuver, control rackets. Can't go wrong with a Yonex VCORE Pro. Feels great.
So what's new in the VCORE Pro? So we've got a new, longer, elongated shaft.
The flex force that's in the elongated shaft gives a greater flexibility, as you might expect with something called flex force, and also flex fuse. So this is going to give it some of that flexibility as well as the stiffness that you'd expect.
Then to kind of couple that with more power, Yonex, which was originally created for their badminton range, was NAND, and now we've got 2G NAND, the second generation, which goes in the throat as well, and that gives kind of a bit of snap back almost, to say the racket flexes on contact, so you get more ball pocketing and more power.
More dwell time?
String. Yeah, essentially.
Japanese made, and one of the things that they pride themselves on is the consistency of the Yonex rackets, and that's achieved in part because all the Yonex rackets are put in a single kiln. Each racket goes into its own little oven to set. What this does, it means a consistent temperature throughout, which means the racket sets consistently and gives a really tiny margin for error or difference in the way that the racket is constructed. Other companies are putting, depending on the quality and the price eventually of the racket, 3 rackets in a kiln, 5 rackets in a kiln, 10 rackets in a kiln. I imagine there's kilns with hundreds in.
Yeah.
If you're going that way.
And that's kind of the Yonex Japanese. they're essentially handmade by humans in the sense they're put in and out. They take 2 weeks to set each frame, and you really feel that quality throughout.
Yes.
Which is why when Mr. Kyrgios decides to smash him up, it breaks Mr. Yonex's heart a little bit, I think.
Yeah. So the Yonex VCORE Pro comes in a full range. So we've got the 97L, which is the lightest at 290 grams. We've got the 97, which is at 310 grams, 5 grams lighter than a Pro Star, but still pretty heavy. And we've got the 97D, which is a different string pattern. That goes to an 1820 rather than a 1619 with all the other ones. And that is 320 gram. And finally, we've got the big boy. It's the 97H. That is 330 grams, 16 by 19 string pattern.
The most interesting to me is the elongation of the shaft.
Come on.
I was lining it up. I thought, can I deliver elongated shaft while stroking it? But no, I couldn't. So what's new in the VCORE Pro? Firstly, we've got an elongated shaft. Oh, mercy.